It's nice to see you all, to see you. Nice. That's a new venue. I didn't know this place existed, and I did hesitate my turn in because it said caravan home on
tourism from
at the entrance. But just to see you all here, we've got about 39 people in attendance. That's a super turnout. I'd like to greet in particular the founding president of the club. 32 years ago. And Jose, Janice and Keith. Janice was actually a member of my first club. We were founder members of the Droitwich Evening Club. Not many years ago, was it? Really? I can't remember when it was, but it's about 13, 14 years ago, something like that. We know neither of us are any obviously members of that club anymore because we moved away. And Janice and Keith now live in Tenbury. I'd also like to welcome John and Joan. John, member and also mine host at the Barrel of Beef. And you now live where it's a bit flatter. I understand, so you can play golf. Is that right? And I think we've got 3 more guests, people I haven't actually met yet. Joe and Carol James from Knighton. Sorry about that. Well, nice to see you, and I'll have a chat with you later on. And also Christine. Sorry?
This is our 13th now.
Somebody who isn't Christine.
Unfortunately, Christine is ill. This is Doreen Phillips.
Right, welcome, Doreen.
Thank you.
She's a friend of Don's.
Standing for a step of friend of Dawn. Right. That's what keeps him young. Isn't a member. Yes. Have I left anybody out? Sorry,
Should we start again?
I think it would be better if we just actually announce who the members are.
We haven't mentioned my dog who's under the
We seem to be outnumbered. Moving on, let's set the tone for the evening. Moving on happily. Grace, please, and I think it's going to be Sheila.
On this special occasion, we should remember that Rotarians are expected to think deeply, speak gently, love much, laugh often, work hard, give freely, and pay promptly. And surely some of those we will achieve tonight. But as we give thanks for this food, I pray that by some miracle, all the calories will have leaked from the pool. Amen.
I just ask that your response is appropriate. Kim, would you like to kick us off?
Oh no.
Theme this evening, some West End shows. And the one I thought I would start with is quite an intriguing one that some of you will have seen, and it's called Puppetry of the Penis. Oh. Now I thought about doing this, and I discovered very early on, because you haven't drunk an awful lot, that the chaps would probably be seriously embarrassed, and the girls would have nothing to look at. You all know it well. Mrs. Bloggs went to see her daughter around tea time one afternoon. Went into the house, opened the door to discover her daughter was sitting on the settee with absolutely no clothes on at all. She was a bit surprised, and she said to her, "Darling, what's going on? Why are you dressed like that?" She said.
Or undressed.
Or undressed like that. The daughter said, "There's no problem, it's my love dress." your love dress, she said. Yes. When my husband comes home in about half an hour, he gets so excited by the concept of my being here naked and primped and preened that he takes all his clothes off and we go at it all evening long, and it's a thoroughly good evening. And she thought, actually, I could do with some of that. Having been married for an awful long time, so she thought, okay, I'll go home. She went home, spent the afternoon primping and preening and sort of combing the hairs and plucking the hairs and things like that, and perfuming herself. And as she got
I hasten to say I didn't get the joke.
and she lay down on the settee, waited for her husband to come home. Door opened, his jaw dropped. Hello, what's going on here? Why are you wearing nothing? I'm not wearing nothing, it's my love dress. Oh, he said, needs an iron, what time's dinner?
It's his new job at the zoo, so he gets dished out a few jobs to start him off. And his first one is cleaning this weed out of the fish pond. And while he's doing it, this huge fish comes up and takes a bite out of his ankle. So he's got this spade with him, he bashes it, I'm not having this, and he kills it. You think, blimey, first day, boss isn't going to be pleased. I'll feed it to the lions, they eat anything, they'll never know. Done that job. Goes on to the next one, cleaning out the chimp's cage. Well, now a complete little sod. As soon as he gets in there, they start pelting him with coconuts, and he loses his rag, still got the spade, bashes a couple of chimps. Oh no, them kids. Off to the lions, they won't mind anything. This is not doing very well here. But I know. Last job was to go and collect some honey from these South American bees. He thinks they're probably going to be a bit nasty, but I've got to do it. Sure enough, he goes in there towards a hive and he's trying to get the honey, and these swarms starts attacking him, so he shovel, bang, bang, bang. Complete mess. Honey, bees, hive. God, what am I going to do with it? The lions, they'll eat anything. The lions. Later that day, a new lion arrives at the zoo. So he says, hi guys, what's the food like here? The other lions say, it's going great. We've had fish and chimps and mushy bees today.
It's to Roy. Those of you who've known Roy for a lot longer than me know that, as I said earlier on, he he's a founder member of the club, but he decided to resign only a couple of months ago for a variety of reasons. Roy was a stalwart member of the club. He was involved in everything, too numerous to list, except one activity which I've not had the good fortune yet to participate in. That's Kids' Day Out. And Roy organised that beautifully every year for God knows how many years, but Roy did that, and I hope that he will actually maintain some link with that in the future.
Yeah.
I have heard stories when people come back from Kids' Day Out, which is being to the safari park at West Midlands. Roy. Speech?
Yes.
Yeah, you would.
Yes.
Fantastic.
Well, thank you very much indeed. I'm sure I don't deserve this honour.
Oh, yes, you do.
Although I like to think for the last 32 years I have been the most active member of the club, both in fundraising and in other activities. And I was very sad to leave. But I'm very grateful for this honour, and it is a very good honour. Thank you very much. I haven't got a joke, but I'll tell you something that happened to me a fortnight ago. It was very strange. I was on a holiday. I went on a touring holiday to Switzerland and Austria. And on the first night, I was in a hotel in St. Moritz. First of all, I must tell you that I'm a trustee and also a volunteer driver for the Knighton Community Support Group. In fact, I'm taking somebody to hospital yesterday and today, and I'm taking somebody to hospital tomorrow as well. And I'm doing somebody's garden on Friday as well. And also, as part of my duties there, I collect furniture for them that they send to a firm called Phoenix in Newtown, who do it up and issue it to members of the public. well, I was sat in this hotel in St Moritz, and I got chatting to two people, and they said, "Where are you from?" I said, "From Knighton in Wales." And he said, "Well, we're from Shrewsbury." And he said, "We've got a brother who lives in Knighton, chap by the name of Bill Priest." I said, "Oh yes, I know Bill." And he said, "A fortnight ago, I'd arranged with Bill on the Monday to go and empty our aunt's house. She recently died. And I'd arranged on the Monday to go on the following Saturday to empty this house." And he said, Bill rang me on the Friday and said, "There's no need for you to come. A chap by the name of Roy Williams has had all of it." And I said, "You'll never guess my name." And one other little thing I'll just tell you. As you know, my son's got some holiday lodges, and I go down every Monday and Friday now to empty the hot tubs. And yesterday I was down emptying a hot tub, and there's a filtration system in them, and I have to get the filters out. And I was getting one out yesterday, and I found a condom in one.
Would you like? Have you got any news of the iceberg? Or I can't find my camouflage net. Hands up for camouflage net. Hands up for Titanic. Titanic. Okay, then, here we go. On a cold, rainy night on a Liverpool quayside, in the years before the Great War, the crowd was in shock at the loss of Titanic. So proud had they been days before. Relatives gathered for news of their loved ones to read through the list of the dead. When into the throng came a sad-eyed old polar bear, and to the clerk at the counter he said, "Have you got any news of the iceberg? My family were on it, you see. Have you got any news of the iceberg? They mean the whole world to me. My wife and my children were coming from Greenland to be by my side at the zoo. Belinda's my wife, and the eldest's called Bernard, and Bill, well, he's only 2. I know on the ship there were hundreds of people, and I know the iceberg's not yours." The polar bear's eyes held the start of his teardrops, and he covered his face with his paws. "Have you got any news of the iceberg? My family were on it, you see. Have you got any news of the iceberg? They mean the whole world to me. It's been over a year since I saw my children. I left home to build my career. I've worked very hard. I'm a star in the circus. And it's all been for nothing, I fear. That's my face on the poster. We're in town this week. My children were meeting me here. And everyone watched as he struggled to speak, as his paw brushed away one more tear. Have you got any news of the iceberg? My family were on it, you see. Have you got any news of the iceberg? They meant the whole world to me." By now all the people had gathered beside him. His grief was one they could share. The people around him, in silence and sadness, listened to the sad polar bear. "I wanted my children to see me performing, and Belinda, well, she'd been proud." The last lost for words, and his tears flowed freely. The question was asked by the crowd, "Have you got any news of the iceberg? My family were on it, you see. Have you got any news of the iceberg? They meant the whole world to me."
A little bit of paper. This is entitled, "I'm Tired." And you realise by some of the figures that I've been getting tired for quite some time. Yes, I'm tired. For several years I've been blaming it on middle age, poor blood, lack of vitamins, air pollution, saccharin, obesity, dieting, underarm odour, yellow wax, build-up, and another dozen maladies that make you wonder if life is really worth living. But I found out that it isn't any of them. I'm tired because I'm overworked. The population of this country is 51 million. You can tell how old I am. 21 million are retired. That leaves 30 million to do the work. There are 19 million at school. That leaves 11 million to do the work. 2 million are unemployed, and 4 million are employed by the government. That leaves 5 million to do the work. 1 million are in the armed forces, which leaves 4 million to do the work. 3 million are employed by the county and borough councils, leaving 1 million to do the work. There are 620 people in hospital and 379,998 people in prison, which leaves 2 people to do the work. That's you and me. You're sitting on your arse reading this. It's no wonder I'm bloody tired.
A certain lawyer was quite wealthy and had a summer house in the country to which he retreated for several weeks of the year. Each summer, the lawyer would invite a different friend of his, no, that's not a punchline by the way, to spend a week or two at his place, which happened to be in the backwoods section of Manor. On one particular occasion, he invited a Czechoslovakian friend to stay with him, and the friend, eager to get a freebie off a lawyer, agreed. Excuse me, where are you going?
Take my case to court.
Sorry. But they had a splendid time in the country, rising early, living in the great outdoors, and then early one morning the lawyer and his Czechoslovakian companion went out to pick berries for their morning breakfast. And as they went round the berries...
Sorry. I've lost my case.
Oh. This wasn't in the script. As we went round the berry patch, gathering blueberries and raspberries in tremendous quantities, along came 2 huge bears.
Hello.
Hello. What? What's this?
Sorry, I just talked to my brief.
The 2 bears, one was male and one was female. Well, the lawyer, seeing the 2 bears, immediately dashed for cover. His friend, though, wasn't quite so lucky. The male bear reached over and swallowed him whole. The lawyer ran back to his Mercedes, tore into the town to get the local backwoods sheriff. What?
I'm taking it to higher court.
The sheriff grabbed his shotgun and dashed to the berry patch with the lawyer. Sure enough, the 2 bears were still there. Is that? What?
Sorry, I rest my case.
It's that one, said the lawyer, pointing to the male, whilst visions of lawsuits from his friend's family danced around in his head. He just had to save his friend. The sheriff looked at the bears, and without batting an eye, levelled his gun, took aim, and shot the female. What do you do that for? Exclaimed the lawyer. I said it was the other.
Going for an appeal.
Exactly, replied the sheriff. And would you believe a lawyer who told you that the cheque was in the mail?
It's a great little story, and it may be something you've heard of before. Now, just to tell you, the inventor of the modern foundation garment that we women wear today was a German scientist and opera lover named by the name of Otto Titzling. True story. It's a true story. His name was Otto Titzling. What happened to Otto Titzling shouldn't happen to a Schnauzer. It's a very sad story, and I feel I have to share it with you. Otto Titzling, inventor and kraut, had nothing to get very worked up about. His inventions were failures, his future seemed bleak. He fled to the opera at least twice a week. One night at the opera he saw an Aida, whose breasts were so big they would often impede her. Bug-eyed, he watched her fall into the pit, done in by the weight of those terrible tits. Oh my God, there she blows. Aerodynamically, this girl was a mess. Otto eyeballed the diva lying comatose among the reeds, and he suddenly felt the fire of inspiration flood his soul. He knew what he had to do. He ran back to his workshop, where he futzed and he futzed and he futzed. For Otto Titzling had found his quest to lift and mould the female breast, to point the small ones to the sky, to keep the big ones high and dry. Every night he'd sweat and snort, searching for the right support. He tried some paper and string and paper clips. Hey, he even tried his own tulips. Well, he stitched and he slaved and he slaved and he stitched until one night, finally, in the wee hours of the morning, Otto arose from his workbench triumphant. Yes! He had invented the world's first over-the-shoulder boulder holder. Hooray! Exhausted but ecstatic, he ran down the street to the diva's house, bearing the prototype in his hot little hand. Now the diva did not want to try the darn thing on, but after many initial misgivings, she finally did. And the sigh of relief that issued forth from the diva's mouth was so loud that it was mistaken by some to be the early onset of the Sorocan winds, which had often rolled through the Schwarzwald with a vengeance. And here you meant to do an opera thing, but I'm not going to. But little did Otto know, at the moment of his greatest triumph, lurking under the bed was none other than the very worst of the French patent thieves, Philip de Brazier. And Phil was watching the scene with a very great deal of interest. Later that night, while our Brunhilde slept, into the wardrobe Philippe softly crept. He fumbled through knickers and corsets galore until he found Otto's tit-sling and ran out the door, crying, "Oh my God, what joy, what bliss! I'm going to make me $1 million from this. Every woman in the world will want to buy one. I'm going to have the goods manufactured in Taiwan. Oh, thank you." The result of this swindle is pointedly clear. Do you buy a tit-sling or do you buy a brassiere?
The tea dance. It's the Sunday tea dance, and they'll all be here today. Aches and pains forgotten, dance the afternoon away. Foxtrots, quick steps, waltzes. Some are slow, but some are still nifty, with memories of how it used to be way back in 1950. Open the rhyme, isn't it? Sorry, Norman. But Norman's in the toilet. He's struggling to pee. He's got trouble with his prostate, and he'll likely miss his tea. Eddie's got a new love that he met in Thornton Heath. She does a lovely tango, but she hasn't any teeth. His latest fancy footwork nearly broke his partner's neck. She mistook his outside swivel for a travelling contra check. I just had her hair done, and she's ready for the saunter. She had a vindaloo last night, and it's coming back to haunt her. Florence miniskirts revealing when she's spinning in the jive. She really shouldn't wear a thong, approaching 85. They've had their tea and cake and chat and had a little laugh, and gamely rise with creaking knees to face the second half. Norman's made it back in time for rumba number 1. His cucaracha's very neat, but he's left his flies undone. Beer has fallen over in a massive crimpling heap. Bert's got indigestion, and Mabel's fast asleep. It's last waltz time, and up they get for Humperdinck's old tune, and then goodbye, good luck, take care, God willing, we'll see you soon.
Lord toast on, I should sleep happy.
That's sad.
So, I've enjoyed tonight. Yeah. It's been a great evening. It's one I shall cherish into the future. We've had a lot of reminiscence therapy. I think it's now time for us all to go home. So would you like to please stand? Final toast. Rotary around the world. Rotary around the world. Thank you. Have a safe journey home.